Got a little fight to him. Come on, little piggy.
You could honestly probably wrap the shotgun if you wanted. That would be delicious.
That's where we like them.
One more. I forgot the recoil stuff. No, right away. Let's reload.
Here we go.
So, Halyna. Hi. Here we go. Come on.
Well, I had to go closer because Danny did, so. You want
We should add two guns, and both were reloading.
No.
You know?
Okay.
What's the owner name of this phone?
The name that would appear on, say, a Bluetooth device is found on line 32, which is Gorilla Grip Pussy Pal.
Okay.
Wait. That's another case. We can't drag that in there.
No. That is Hannah's phone. Barnes got it wrong. I alerted them. Hannah's phone.
Oh, I thought it was Fonny's phone.
No. Everybody ran with it because it sounded fun, but no, that was actually Hannah's phone. That was the expert that went through all the texts.
Bizarre.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
That's really weird.
That's a phone name for you, Mark.
That's a good. I'm going to use that myself. That's really strange. Well, I love my favorite footage is the one where Alec is just running the entire show with the guns. I mean, to me, when I saw that this week, I thought that was devastating to his case. The fact that and they commented on this on Court TV at night, and which other people have cited, including us, that when you have a star that big and he's a 600-pound pussy gorilla on a little indie film, he's literally the director, he's the producer, he's doing everything, despite what titles say and all the other boobameises. This guy, he's yelling, "Let's go again," which you would do without guns. I've seen it done a million times without guns, just saying, "Let's go, we got to go," losing the light, come on, let's go. But he's doing it with guns in his hand. That's what makes it so devastating to his case.
And it's showing them scrambling to
load.
So
because he's yelling at them, "Let's go, we got to go again," with guns. I mean, that was devastating, Eric.
Yeah, no, that was during Brian Carpenter's testimony. If people want to go back and look at the trial, I tried to pull pictures of different people who testified so we could kind of mention them by name. This was the prosecution's armorer discussing this and what should happen on the set, pointing these out. The other footage was also during his testimony where you saw the roughhousing, the scene with the kid with the shotgun, some questionable things there.
Let me tell you something. That was also crazy. I mean, the fact that guy is carrying that shotgun around and then gives it to the kid. How about when the kid takes it and the kid starts pointing it? I mean, holy crap. I mean, that was devastating. I mean, you got to collect these. First of all, I think in generally speaking, without her or anybody else, you really needed 2 or 3 armors on this case, on this film, because of multiple guns and having to retrieve them after every take. You got to round them up. And there's no physical way to do that, it looks like, because there's too many guns and only her. And then she's also doing props, Eric.
I think he testified that should be a 2-armorer film.
Oh, good. Okay, I didn't hear that. Yeah, definitely true. I would definitely agree with that. Once you start seeing these videos, which we have not seen, you begin to see the physics of it and the fact that it's almost physically impossible for one person to round up these weapons after every take, which is traditionally what you're supposed to do. You can't have a guy just willy-nilly pointing that shotgun up in the air, Eric.
Yeah.
First of all, it's supposed to be
around. I mean, it's like, by Dave Halls. Dave could be shot. Here's another guy who could be
shot.
You're
right. Yeah. Vinny did that on Court TV, and the line, it's almost like Kennedy-esque. you know, the line of fire that these people are in by this guy. And close up, I mean, with some blanks, I mean, that could cause enormous damage from 3 or 4 feet.
Well, dude, I was in the Army. I don't, like to flex that card, but there's some things I have experience with.
Go ahead, flex that card. Go ahead.
I dare you.
Go ahead.
I dare you in the military on a range to have that kind of lack of discipline with a gun. You know what happens as you swing that gun around? Your ass is on the ground, tackled with the gun ripped out of your hand. It is not a joke.
Again, here's Baldwin, the big cheese, Mr. Big, despite his claims that he's a creative producer, industrial producer, super producer, whatever it is, his A-list status trumps all of that as the single biggest star of a no-person film except himself. He's ordering people around. He's a producer on this. Joel Souza, what is it, his second film, Eric, that he's ever directed, second or third film, right? I mean,
he did one with your friend, and and Alec Baldwin is going to play the part, but
with Thomas Jane. You're talking about Thomas Jane, yeah.
Right. Joel Souza testified. So in his testimony, he talked about he was going to have Alec Baldwin do the movie, but there was a scheduling conflict. Right. And Alec became a producer, and I guess it was Thomas Jane that got hired for Alec Baldwin.
Oh, you're talking about Crown Vic. Yeah,
Crown
that's
Vic,
true.
yes, right.
That is true.
So he had an arrangement with Alec Baldwin to look at potentially future projects. And one of the future projects was he wanted to do a Western. Alec Baldwin, this was interesting. Alec Baldwin hired him to write the script.
Yeah. So
he was paid by Alec.
Well, on the break, when Rust was down because of this incident, they started to reboot up Rust. They asked Tom to come on for the part of a different guy.
Well, it's a small world, I guess.
Yeah, he turned. Well, he turned him down. But
also wasn't even smaller. Wasn't Tom also on The Old Way?
Tom was not on The Old Way. I don't think he was on something else where Hannah was working. I forgot what picture it was. I think maybe The Old Way. I don't think so.
Well, The Old Way was her only other picture as an armorer, so I didn't know.
No, but I mean, what he told me was that she had been an assistant for her dad unofficially and on multiple pictures. It wasn't The Old Way. It was another Western where she was his assistant.
Okay.
And she did a bunch of, to be fair, I mean, from what I understand, she was an unofficial gopher assistant for her dad on multiple Thel pictures.
Mm-hmm. And maybe she didn't get the credit for it. Because
uncredited. I know people can't believe this, but there's plenty of people who do stuff in films uncredited. I know this sounds impossible for people to understand. I've been an uncredited writer on projects.
Like The Recruit?
I mean, there are people who are uncredited. I mean, Akiva Goldsman was an uncredited writer on The Recruit, and so was I. It doesn't mean you didn't do the work. And not everything is on IMDb, people.
And I think I have to double check it, but I think she could have gotten a credit as a PA or something. On that same film. She has additional credit or additional crew credits, costume and wardrobe.
Right.
I'm just trying to see if she shows up on that list. But then that's another problem with IMDb, folks. There may be 4 entries for a single person. It's like, especially with her, she could possibly be in there as Hannah Gutierrez-Reed. Hannah Gutierrez-Reed. I've seen that before, which is kind of weird.
IMDb is like the Wikipedia of film. Consistently wrong, consistently not the whole picture, but consistently people rely on it 100%. And it's psychological. And it used to be like really brutal to get in any credit on there. Now it's wide open. Now it's become like Wikipedia in a way.
Yeah, only they're smart enough to charge people to have to be able to enter stuff.
Yeah, well, it's a business. It's a business. But that being said, I don't know. What witness do you want to talk about? Where do you want to go? I mean, you tell me. I mean, there's so many ways to go.
How about our old favorite, Gabrielle?
Oh, all right. I want to start with her because she came. That's a good one. She came on. She came on like Marlon Brando in the Wild One. And the Wild Bunch or something. She came on with that motorcycle jacket, and I just said, "Who the hell is that?" And when she said, I almost fell off the couch when she said it was Gabrielle Pickle. That walk to the witness stand in that jacket which is just an unbelievable choice. I've asked some women friends of mine, just because I didn't want to say anything sexist about it. Like, what is that fashion idea that she's trying to pull off with a scarf and an oversized leather motorcycle jacket, Eric?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
a favorite. There's other pictures of her with it. So I think this is her
I didn't
favorite.
know that.
I was trying to get the right picture for today.
Holy crap, what an outfit.
Yeah, I tried to get pictures for the trial, so the representative, but I happened to see her hair down with that same jacket on from some other occasion. So that might be her.
She couldn't wear a blazer, a business looking. I mean, give me a break, lady. I mean, it's not like you're in the costume department. You're the production manager, essentially, of the show.
Yes, and I've got to confirm it, but there may be some problems with at least one piece of her testimony. I have to.
I thought she did very well, by the way. That might take. I thought she did very well.
Well,
for herself. I mean,
I thought that she wasn't challenged.
Well, nobody challenged her. I take it back. But still,
Jason Bowles. I was kind of like,
she came off really, really smoothly.
Yeah, because she wasn't challenged. Anyway,
well, I don't know. I mean, what is
her claim? Her claim about the child supposedly being the reason that the training was turned down. I've been told is in fact not true, but I need to get documentation to verify if that is in fact inaccurate.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. She kept citing insurance purposes, right?
Which I totally get. And if that was the case, that would make a lot of sense. Like,
right.
Yeah. We don't want that kid to have a gun. Sorry. It's not personal, but we barely are paying, probably the highest deductible possible and the cheapest ass insurance with the least coverage. So yeah, I'm sure. But if it's in fact not exactly true, there may be a problem. But we'll see. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Nobody challenged her on it. Jason Bowles didn't challenge her. Carrie Morrissey didn't. So
can she be called back or no?
Yes. Okay. Because
I think
the evidence tech got called back. I don't have a picture, but
I think she might be called back.
Okay, so we got called back too.
I'm sorry. So what do we take away from Pickle? In your humble opinion,
not much, because I don't feel like it was really hammered. Mm-hmm. I've been told off the record that they did not allow in the evidence that we broke. Mm-hmm. Which was very significant because it was hearsay.
Which was what?
The email between her and Hannah.
Oh, right.
Discussing that. I've been told by a source, a different source, folks, not Seth Kenny. But anyway, that was not allowed in because of hearsay. So some of the testimony that felt, because we've been following this so long, and I'm like, well, where's this? Where's this? Where's this?
Right.
Apparently,
they're big on hearsay in this trial.
Oh, huge on it. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, and I'm not a lawyer, so it helps.
Yeah, either am I. What's the deal? Why are they so obsessed about hearsay? They're afraid of being overturned on appeal?
Well, because I think it's just basic legal rules that, like, I can't, how do I put it? I can't say you said something. They can say, they can ask me, Eric, what did you say to Mark? Right. Then they can call you up and say, Mark, what did you say to Eric? But,
I get it, but I've never seen it enforced in a case so much as this.
Is it enforced or are they sloppy? See, that's my question. It's like, are the lawyers playing a little fast and loose on the edges, and they're getting spanked down because they keep trying things? Like, you've seen Carrie with her little bits of her snide comments on the side, like, you should have prepared, you didn't do this, you didn't do that.
Very strange lady. She's very strange. But why do they keep going for a sidebar for every single objection?
Because the rolling objections were getting out of hand, where they were just arguing back and forth across the courtroom, which apparently screws with the jury, because they don't want the jury seeing them arguing things out over procedure.
She's going to the sidebar for every single objection.
Because the judge said, you can't act like adults. You're going to have to come up here sidebar every single time.
Was that in the beginning or something?
That was day 5 or 6, but there was even an article on it on Vanity Fair about how the judge said, okay, everybody goes on break, because they were everything was blowing up. And at that point, I think the judge put the rule down saying, okay, children, from now on, you got to come up here.
Who is this other woman with the long hair who's working with Bowles? Is that
well, that's the weird thing about this whole thing with Bowles is Bowles had another attorney who Hannah fired. And then a female attorney got put in. And now that one sitting next to Hannah you're talking about who looks less professional than Hannah is, I don't know. I thought she might be an attorney, but because she's whispering, usually only an attorney can whisper, but maybe she's a legal aid. I don't.
But now there's a white girl with long hair. Who is that girl?
That is the other attorney.
The other one's like a goth chick at the end is who you're referring to.
Correct. And then the new one who has actually been doing cross-examinations.
Yeah.
Like she did the cross-examination of the medic, Sherilyn Schaefer.
Right.
That blonde one is the replacement for the guy who Hannah fired early on, like in day 2 or 3. And I think it might be, we don't know for sure because of lawyer-client privilege. We think it might be because in day 2, you remember where the expert came in? That was that snippet I got for the beginning of the show about the Pussy Pal phone.
Okay.
When he was testifying, they were giving out the entire phone numbers. And Hannah's phone blew up on that day. Carrie Morrissey, after court, was confronted with this. And, being the very thoughtful, caring person she is, she responded, that's her lawyer's problem for not redacting the information correctly.
Oh, that's snippy. Okay.
That's our Carrie. Anyway,
wow, what a great,
so the theory is that he got fired because of doxing Hannah.
Wait, he was there on day 2 or no?
Yeah, he was the one who was the counterpoint to that lawyer. He did the cross with
all right. Wow.
and did a lot of prep. I kind of wonder though, and there's some question because remember Jason Bowles was just like on fire with cross. Like he suddenly turned into Perry Mason, and I'm going.
I thought he was pretty good. Yeah, the cross was pretty good.
And then he hasn't been as consistently good. And the theory is that it's possible that the other guy did a lot of prep. Like he's coming in with facts and less confused and less rattled by Carrie at that time. After that guy was gone, he hasn't done quite as well. I mean,
the whole case seems very subdued to me. I don't see any fireworks. I mean, I don't know what people are talking about. Both of them are very polite. Bowles seems very subdued. Am I wrong, or is he?
He's got a mellowness.
Yeah, I kind of like that mellowness. I mean, he's not emotional. Am I missing some emotional thing by him? No, he's been pretty.
Carrie's far more emotional than.
Bowles. No, absolutely,
for sure.
Absolutely.
I would never say that. I'm just saying that Bowles is occasionally sloppy, and I
don't know. I can't tell if the guy's sloppy because I don't know where it's going. The only way I could tell is after the case was over to go back and look. I don't know what he's doing. It may be part of his game, Eric.
Well, I mean, I could tell you just by watching him with Seth Kenny, he was sloppy, and I can hold off on the Seth Kenny because I want to talk to you about that for sure.
Okay, all right. Now, who do you want to go to now? What about Hancock, the Breck girl, the Hooters girl?
Let's go ahead. And you know what? I didn't pull a damn picture of her, which is like amazing.
Oh, okay. That's my favorite. I mean, her hair, she worked on that hair for weeks.
Dude, she has a different haircut every day.
Every day. I mean, she's got it draping over one eye. She's got the curls now. I mean, it's an incredible. I don't know how she has time to be a cop.
Oh, no, I'm not kidding. It was funny because one of the lawyers pointed it out too. It's like,
oh, really?
She changes her hair every day. Well, no, because they always go to her in the audience, and it's like, wow, okay, she changed her hair again. I don't know how.
I mean, I think in the somebody said today that Stephen Baldwin should play his brother in the movie of the week. He should play Alec Baldwin, which is pretty funny. But somebody's got to play her in the movie of the week. I don't know who it could be, but I'll leave that to the chat.
That's a great question. I am not sure who would play her.
Maybe Kate Winslet.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll take suggestions for the movie of the week.
Yeah, but I mean, definitely people, suggest the right actors.
My favorite one. Sure. How about the guy who showed up from OSHA and it says, "My name is Lorenzo Montoya." He's like right out of Scarface, bro.
I did not actually see that, so you can
Dude,
fill
I
me in on
cracked
the.
up the guy, the heavy set guy, young guy from OSHA. He was a compliance officer. The funniest thing about it was him saying his own name when he was sworn in. My name is Lorenzo Montoya. I just like had a Scarface.
Oh God! You know what? It makes me think of Princess Bride as well.
Mm-hmm.
You killed my father.
Oh yeah.
I forgot that line, but
yeah,
that makes me think of that.
Yeah.
I did not watch either of the OSHAs. I tuned in for like 20 seconds and it looked boring as hell. And
it was just by the numbers. It didn't really matter at all. But you know.
Yeah, I was trying to get that footage together, and okay, finally, there you go, Alexander Hancock, who, by the way, everybody's trying to figure out her tattoos. She's got this crazy tattoo on her arm, peeking out, and it's like, what the hell's her tattoo? I mean, this girl or detective woman. Sorry, I don't want to, insult her in any way, but it's like she seems like she's probably pretty cool to hang out with after work, like a real party girl.
The next day, her hair was all curled at the bottom. I don't know. Yeah, this is all straight. This is the Veronica Lake look of the draping here with the draping over one complete eye. I mean, this is quite an astounding looking look here with the draping over the eye, Eric.
Mm-hmm. Well,
as a look. I mean, it's not by accident.
Well, remember, her hair was constantly in the way of the body cam.
Oh, absolutely.
We commented on that all the time.
Now I remember. It's been a year and a half or so.
I know.
It's been like 2 years. So I mean, a lot of stuff has happened. But I remember the hair problem with the body cam. I mean, it was definitely a problem.
Is she Hancock with a D or Hancock? I think it's without D.
I forget.
Anyway, but yeah, just. I was trying to see if I had another hair because her hair is definitely on the curly side.
She's got about 10 different styles that I've seen about 5 styles.
Well, I was waiting for somebody to do the cutout of like
three
different styles.
We need the hair montage, Vinny, on Core TV.
I know I've been sloppy. I need that. Like I've got a Dave Halls montage, which is Dave Halls shooting, Dave Halls crying. So we've got that.
Yeah, what is he crying? Why are all these men weeping? The dolly grip. He was on this movie for 2 weeks. He's crying. Why are they all crying, these men?
Okay, well, hold on. Okay. I've got visuals. There you go.
Why is he crying?
It is funny because it's actually not funny, but he was upset early, but then let's talk about him for a minute because he's one that, we definitely went over. I was watching with one of the lawyers. And you called me up to point things out because I was running behind you.
Yeah.
He started out and he went into the incident. First off.
Well, just to back up, what I called Eric about was the sidebar, again, the 9 millionth sidebar with Morrissey going up fanatically, waving her glasses at the judge as a hand gesture. She was just waving the glasses around like this. And the bailiff had to come up and physically tell her to put her glasses down. It was a threat. And I thought, holy crap, nobody caught that. I called up Eric and then we looked at it together, but go on.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I caught it, after the fact, but this is Ross Adiego. And he was an interesting character because early on in the testimony, it was just my instinct, but I'm watching him like, this guy's grumpy.
Yeah.
There's something grumpy about this guy.
Well, he's done 150 films as a dolly grip, for Christ's sakes.
Right.
I'd be grumpy too.
Yeah,
I mean, it's such a mindless job, dolly grip. Jesus Christ. How many movies can you do as a dolly grip?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes they have a good dolly. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes
no. But I mean, eventually you move up the ladder. You move up to something else. I've never heard of a guy doing 150 movies as a dolly grip.
He's a career dolly grip.
He's a career dolly grip guy. I mean, all he's doing is pushing that dolly.
Nobody better, Mark.
He's the best dolly grip. And in fact, he was talking about union, non-union, whatever it is. He doesn't come. He's the replacement dolly grip because the other dolly grip left with what's his name from the camera department.
Really? No, I thought he was there. No. No. I think he was there the whole time.
This guy?
Yeah, he was there the whole time.
I don't think so.
No, it's the camera department because he's the lights. Anyway,
I know, but he came on. He was only on. Well, we'll check
no,
it.
he was
I
there.
don't know.
He was there. He was there because he talked about before and after and all
Okay.
of that. But anyway, during it, he went down. He was in the scene, so I'm not going to take away from.
No. I
it's
agree. He was
dramatic.
definitely there, but you're saying that he was on the film from day one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. He came with Serge and Halyna.
Okay.
By request, they've worked
Okay.
together.
Right.
Before. So
is he suing anybody?
Oh, of course. Like, did you forget what film we're on, Mark?
No. I'm just forgetting who's suing who. I'm just
okay.
forgetting who's suing who.
Well, you know what? And that's one thing I'll bring up too.
I mean, where's the script supervisor? How come she's not?
Mamie was up there. I don't have her picture, but Mamie did show up.
Okay, with Gloria Allred, or she came without counsel?
Oh, she probably had. No. You think Gloria's going to fly to New Mexico?
Well,
Maybe,
are you kidding? To get some press, she would fly to anywhere.
Yeah, maybe, but I didn't. I didn't get to see her the whole time, and I don't remember anybody talking about Gloria Allred in the audience.
I know. I'm bringing it up now because nobody's brought it up. She's the attorney for the script supervisor.
Oh yeah.
Who says she's got PTSD and other ailments, Eric?
Right. Right, and that's part of what happened with this guy is he started to get cagey when Jason Bowles did the cross. And this is when Bowles is brilliant. Bowles is asking him, he's like, what about the explosion in his ear or whatever? He'd already done the crying and everything.
Right.
And then the first question was, are you suing? And the guy's like, yes. And he goes, okay, so, you're suing. And he gave a list, all these people, but not Hannah. And the guy's like, well, my lawyer drafted the suit.
Oh, right.
Remember that? He was
that was great.
Cagey.
Dude, that was so
cagey.
weird. Because Bowles just kept saying, so you didn't read it? What, he hired himself?
Well, no, he goes, I perused it. So what is perusing? Do you read past page one or not?
Right.
Oh, I went past page one probably.
That was good.
And so then he said, okay, about the hearing. And the guy's like, I don't want to talk about my medical.
Oh, yeah, that was weird. What?
And he got really combative. So he went from weeping to combative.
Right.
And then on redirect.
That was a weird arc.
And then on redirect, Carrie said, you mentioned before this ruined your life, right? Yes. And he had this huge reaction.
Did he cry twice?
Yes, he cried on the return about his life.
He is the leading crier at this time. No, nobody's cried twice.
No, I think he's got the weeping down. Yeah.
Okay, because the AD cried once.
Now, Mark, it's brief though, so I understand it's easy to miss because on the redirect, she said, "Did you ruin your life?" And he did a brief cry, and then was calm on the next question.
Right.
So I understand you might have missed this.
I might have missed
his outburst, but yes, he did get a second cry.
Well, there was another. The gaffer was crying. There was a third person crying. Besides the AD, there was a third.
Also the medic.
The medic was a woman. I'm talking about there were three men.
I didn't catch that because I didn't get all the witnesses. That's where I'm hoping.
There was a gaffer who was weeping. There was definitely a weeping gaffer.
Yep. And okay, Van Conrad. Yes, Mark and I have cried before on the damn show. We admit it.
No. I'm a weeper too, but I'm talking about an event on the stand where maybe indicated by Morrissey to cry on cue. I mean, because
it was interesting.
This is an event that's 2.5 years old. And if you haven't grieved and recovered from this, there's something wrong with you. I mean, this is not something that happened last week. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not sure. Again, I didn't see all the different
we cried on the show, but I mean, it's worth crying on this show sometimes.
Yes, especially.
Sometimes you have to cry on this show.
I know. Wait, hold on.
Are we demonetized yet? I'll start crying right now.
Exactly. That's
I'm going to demonetize myself. I can't take it anymore.
So far we're not. Okay, I'm holding back the tears for now, but they may be coming. We might have a demonetized whatever cry interstitial.
Anyway, so we had 3 crying men. We had the crying medic. Pickle was very professional. She was hard, tough as nails, right? She didn't weep. Who else was a weeper so far?
Well, Sherilyn weeped, and that was considered.
Did Sarah Zachry weep or no?
Sarah, I don't want to go too deep into it, but yeah, Sarah apparently came with an emotional support animal.
Right.
And
what does she have? A pig?
I think she had a dog there.
Oh, she had a dog underneath there? Underneath?
No, like, outside or whatever. Because
Wait. She's got a dog in the courtroom, or
an emotional support dog, I think. Yes.
in the courtroom?
I think so. That's what I heard.
Was the dog barking during her testimony?
Probably not. They're well trained.
Right. Okay.
I mean, come on.
No, I don't know. This is news to me.
I think it is an official emotional support dog. One that is trained, kind of like a.
She quit the business because of this.
Correct.
Okay. Now what does she do?
She's a wife. I don't know what else.
She married someone. Okay.
Yeah, she got married like a year or two ago.
Right.
I don't know, what she's doing career-wise or what have you.
But she somehow has a plea deal or something.
Yes.
What is the status of her with the prosecution, the legal status? Does anybody know?
She has a deal with the prosecution to not charge her. I in exchange for her testimony, I guess. She's essentially been given immunity.
Oh, it sounds like immunity. Okay.
And I think that they could have nailed her to the wall for evidence tampering,
right?
Because she was throwing out
dummy
rounds.
Throwing out dummy rounds?
I don't know. And I have big problems with that. And I've been open about that. It's like, if she was throwing out expended blanks, okay, yeah, what are you going to do with them? It's very difficult to do, reload, whatever. You're not going to reuse an expended blank. No problem.
But why was she doing it so quickly?
Well, that's the question, because that's on the day.
That's the first thing she thought of. I've got to destroy these dummy rounds.
Well, and that's again, let me go through it. It's confusing because supposedly on the day or very soon, like after she threw out these dummy rounds that she had, which is very weird.
Yeah.
A big problem. And then when she was being questioned, she claimed that she did it all the time. That she's just always throwing out the dummy rounds. Now, the problem is that why would you throw out dummy rounds? And they got in questioning that those were rented. Usually you don't throw out things that you rent because there is a charge involved. So that is a very interesting question. And we'll get into it. Mark Pugner saying she got a phone call right after the incident.
That's what I was going to. I was going there next.
Well, because this is Bowles' defense. The Seth and Sarah, and specifically Seth, that is where everything came from, etc. I believe she did not get the.
That's Bill Hicks, by the way, in his.
Oh, okay. She texted.
Nice.
She texted Seth Kenny, emergency, and he called her. So, in that order.
Okay, but we don't know what was said because of their hearsay insanity.
We don't know what was said.
Because the guy said, "Don't tell us what he said."
Right, because he can't, and I can.
But don't they have the texts?
I do.
No, but okay. So we what did they say?
Give me a minute to find that one. But
all right, I'll be over here.
Okay, well, everybody check back with us in 20 minutes. No, anyway, he texted. But going back to the dummies, the issue I have with her especially is why did she throw them out? And then she said she did all the time, which feels weird. Again, why would you throw a dummy out? Because the dummies get used film to film to film. Even Hannah brought in leather from another movie that had dummies already inside of it. Because again, there is value there to reuse it.
I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I think she might be recalled later.
She could well be. They all are subject to recall.
Oh yeah, no, a lot of them are coming back, Eric.
Okay, November 9th. And I am looking to find
I think Pickle's coming back for sure.
Well, and I think it matters, it depends on if they screw up in any way, because then you're opening things for rebuttal. And I feel like that's Carrie Morrissey's style seems to be getting a bunch of questions out on direct, but not necessarily digging in. And then on redirect, suddenly dropping in these other questions. And I wonder if it's like if the doors open on cross.
Like I said to you, this is just a general perception. in a normal case, the defense attorney is objecting. In this case, the prosecution is objecting. And it's almost like she's the defense lawyer in terms of the amount of objections. Just seems like the reverse of a normal case. And I get the sense
But she is a defense lawyer. That is her background.
Right. But I'm saying I'm getting the sense that by the level of objections, she feels that the case is slipping away from her.
Yep. No, fair enough. Okay, here we go. Emergency. I don't know how quickly I can get these up to share.
All right, well,
I apologize.
That's okay.
But while we're talking, I'll pull these up to where I can share. But I have
Well, how long do you think the conversation was between the two of them?
I don't think it was long. 30 seconds, maybe.
Okay.
Something else. They did a lot of texting, but this is actually the text that she sent. Emergency, and then he called her. So then director's clavicle is shattered, and the DP got the worst of it. The wad went through our DP entirely. So that's interesting statement there.
Yeah, that is. I mean, that's an interesting medical analysis so quickly.
Well, actually, it makes sense because that saying the wad went through implies blank.
Something went through, yeah.
But implies blank. Like at this point.
Well, they think it's a blank. They're assuming
right.
it's a blank. That's why they're thinking the wad went through.
Exactly, which actually is proper because it should be a blank. And then a lot of these. And then it just goes back and forth. I'd have to actually organize this out.
Well, why was he yelling shit 4 times in a row? What was that about?
Oh, the Hannah shit.
Yeah, what was that? What was all that about?
Let me see if I can find it. Because it was tying in with Hannah and if she was drunk or stoned, I believe at the time. A lot of these, I don't know.
There's one where Seth says shit 4 times when he was testifying.
Yes, and I'm trying to find
it. They both did the same thing, or no?
No, I don't think Sarah ever said shit.
No, but you're saying Hannah did?
No, I think that they were talking about Hannah, and again, I think there's literally tons and tons of texts. So,
okay, all right.
Well,
don't worry about the text right now. The testimony by Sarah is basically what? That she was the prop manager, that she was the prop master. That Hannah worked for her, that she didn't overwork Hannah, that Hannah had to roll some cigarettes once in a blue moon. Hannah had plenty of time to do her job. I'm just trying to remember. In general, her take was that, right? That she wasn't. Okay, all right. Just we're on the same page.
And then Pickle threw me off a little bit. I was very surprised to find out that she actually had 10 days because it made it sound like she had almost no days. It was like, right. Well, out of 12 days of filming, 10 days were armor, so it didn't look quite as bad.
Mm-hmm. What did she do other than rolling cigarettes? I remember you got that other girl, Nicole, right? Who was the assistant, who really was an assistant prop master.
Yes. Cigarettes is all I remember.
Right. Didn't they have to load the blanks into the belts for a look that they were wearing in the bandoliers? They had to load the blanks in there, the dummies into the bandoliers was part of it.
But that was almost kind of that was like Sarah. That's the weird part because Hannah was the assistant props to Sarah, but Sarah was the assistant armor to Hannah at the same time, which is crazy.
Who went shopping for props in town? Didn't somebody go?
Sarah.
Yeah,
but both did. Like Hannah had, I think.
They love to buy lamps and stuff. They love to go shopping for crap. That's kind of why these girls do the jobs, to go shopping. No, I'm serious. They love to go buy the crap. That's really why they love the job. Because I know guys who do it. I know the Mazzolas who've been doing, Woody Allen and Scorsese for many years. Jeff Mazzola and his brother James, and the stories they told me, like working on Donnie Brasco and putting that lion in the back of the caddy. If people have seen Donnie Brasco, they had to get. They had to go to White Castle and get like 250 little hamburgers to feed this lion, which is a prop problem, so it wouldn't eat the members of the cast. Now, that's a problem. This film doesn't have the problems that Donnie Brasco had. And this prop master solved it by getting 150 White Castle hamburgers for that damn lion.
Hey, creative.
Yeah,
that's going to be a producer.
Well, they also got arrested once because they had prop money. The Treasury Department showed up and raided the film and took their prop money, saying it was counterfeit. And everybody's going, bro, everybody uses this money in every film. What's going on? Somebody had blown the whistle on them. And it was almost like a swatting, Eric, that the Treasury agent showed up and seized their phony movie money. I mean, it's never been done before. But I digress. I just was talking about just saying some prop stories that I've heard.
All right. Well, you know what? We're getting into the thick of things. So I'm going to ask you. I sat and watched the whole Seth Kenny thing yesterday, and actually did it on my channel as a live stream, hanging out, and you did as well.
Yeah.
What did you think? Give me your breakdown, and I'm doing this deliberately because I have my thoughts, my opinions, etc. And the feedback I've gotten from a lot of people is surprising to me. So I figured let me just ask you and everybody. We did not talk about this.
He was a fanatically exact witness. I mean, he really came off really well. This is just my take on it. I mean, he knew tons and tons of information that legitimized him as a professional a gun renter, or whatever the title is, a shop master, a prop master. A property loan house or whatever. I thought he came off looking great. To be honest with you, I don't know if he could have done a better job, to be honest.
Okay. I will tell you, and this is what shocks me. If you go on my video and you look at the comments, and the feeling of the chat is pretty much Kate's sentiment here.
Okay.
Seth Kenny is a weasel.
For what?
That this is where I actually am very confused by the situation, because over and over and over, I mean, I would say the very large majority of people were saying flat out that he was sketchy as hell. Gregory here, he's a total weasel, con artist. Anyway, over and over and over.
I didn't get that impression.
Well, that's why I am completely surprised by this, because and I admit that I've talked to Seth in the past a lot, so this can color my impression because I've talked to the guy and I know more.
I've never talked to him, and he came off sounding normal. I don't know about weasel. I mean,
well, I also had Gavin Stone on, and Gavin Stone has done body language analysis, statement analysis. You know what? I have an exact. I will read exactly what he said. He said he wasn't particularly sketchy, in my opinion, because everybody said he was sketchy.
He wasn't sketchy at all.
He said he didn't believe he'd done anything wrong. He was simply sloppy and was trying to cover that side of his business, but not like someone who went out with intent, just complacent.
All right, whatever.
And that is essentially what they were talking about. And I know Seth Kenny as a source. He has actually texted many times while Mark and I have been on.
Look, I don't know the guy, and I never met the guy. I'm just telling you how he came across. I mean, I don't know him. I've never spoken to him. You're asking how he came across. There wasn't any sketchiness at all. He was just, dude, he's just like, I'm not supporting him or denouncing him.
No, I understand that.
I'm looking as an outsider. I've never spoken to the guy. He came across as like a totally prepared witness.
Okay, well, and that's the crazy part, because I had like Rob, one of the lawyers, saying he was so sketchy as hell that he was evasive on every question.
We get it. Let's move on into Seth Kenny's testimony then. Forget about it.
Well, this is his testimony. I'm talking about his testimony.
I'm saying, what do you find to be weird or weak or sketchy or whatever you want to call it?
I don't. That's my problem.
Either do I. So who cares what these other people think? You and I don't.
Okay, but I want to address it, because when I have such a disconnect with the vast majority of my audience, I go,
all right, well, look,
because I'm open to things.
We have a show to do here. I know you have problems with your audience.
Anyway, well, I want to go through a little bit
with this right now. Go ahead.
I do want to share these text messages, though, because I think they're a factor, and they did come up. These are the messages between Seth Kenny and Hannah.
Right.
Around the time he said, I don't want to work with her anymore. This all came up in the cross.
I just want to interject that I'm just talking about his testimony on the stand and the filming of it. I don't know, you know, a
Well,
different
this
opinion, a
this is
different
part of it.
opinion behind the scenes. That's a different take. I don't know what happened there, but go on.
Okay. This is text between Seth Kenny and Hannah Reed.
Right.
This is literally something that came about where they were discussing. I believe this all came up here.
Mhm.
This is Hannah's text is in the black with a white print. Seth is
Can
in
you
blue.
read that out loud?
Sure.
Okay.
Hannah, this might be a dumb question, but am I able to switch that barrel with another one?
Oh,
Seth,
yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
No, and you should never disassemble two guns simultaneously because you might mistakenly swap parts.
Right. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
Hannah said, copy that.
Yeah.
Then Seth said, hey, hope it went well yesterday. Talk to your dad about not taking guns apart when cleaning.
Mhm.
He can go into details. It's quick and works well without issues on reassembly and takes no more than 10 minutes per gun.
Right.
Hannah, it went super well. I'll ask him about it because that's the only way I know how to. You got to show me how you got that unstuck. I don't even know how I did that. Seth, cool deal. Yeah, just rotate and brush the cylinder through the barrel. Essentially, you'll end up brushing the barrel bore 6 times in each chamber in the cylinder once.
Okay.
And then, hold on, right on. What's the DB rating on the quarters and halves? This is very significant. They're asking me for the kit. For revolvers, use 45 long Colt 1/4 instead of 5-in-1 1/4 round a kid and any skittish horses. You'd have to have a DB meter and read where the gun is in relationship to the kid, horses, etc. A DB meter is not part of any onset armorer's kit. 1/4 and below is industry standard for small arms. If the kid freaks, use primed cases. That's something else that came up was the primed cases.
Mhm.
Hannah, he was fine yesterday. His parents just asking. Hannah again, hey, these trap doors that gun hand and like are loading, are they able to fire / do I have ammo for them? Never mind. They probably won't use them in the fight since it's just a shot. And they saying you have ammo for the guns that are scripted to fire. Movies with tight budgets typically don't stray from the script as it costs too much to purchase or rent for non-scripted elements. Send your contracts, blah, 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 some side stuff and a name. So I don't think that's relevant. And then Sarah texted me she had an accidental discharge. This is a very important part here. Okay.
Okay.
Because remember, we're going on about Sarah and the discharge and what happened there. He said, happens to everyone, move on. Move on. I'm not having a problem with it. It sure doesn't look good though. And then he replied back, accidents and mistakes happen. Accidental discharges are accidents. A mistake is where the armorer provides a gun and full load ammo to be fired with a horse in the vicinity. Will you tell production about that? We learn and move on, and don't forget she's your boss. Don't push it.
He's talking about her relationship to Sarah Zachry.
Correct. And this is where things are going south between Hannah and Seth big time.
Hold on for a second. I might have an accidental discharge. Hold on.
Okay. Excuse you? What mistakes do you think I'm making? Will I tell production about what? You think I'm some fucking rat or something? You think I'm running to production to tattle? You have me fucked up, Seth. If she doesn't like me when I barely said anything about it, you could come back and finish the show. I'm not going to stay where I'm a fucking problem. As you can see, things are a little bit heated between the two of them. And then here we go, continuing. Thanks for having my back ever. I'll go fuck myself. Sorry, I'm a fucking worthless shit that can't fucking do anything right. Hannah is going to get arrested and charged. So is the DA. Okay, so this is the next text.
Okay.
This is the next text. So that was the last communication they had was on October 16th. And it's just what I say. Thanks for having my back ever. I'll go F myself. Sorry, I'm effing worthless.
Hold on. Go back for 1 second. This is where you're saying it goes south because of the accidental discharge.
Right. It was the conflict.
Their relationship. You're talking about the relationship between the two of them, Seth and Hannah, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So what's your take on that? because of the accidental discharge. He's telling her, forget about it.
Right. What I understand is that accidental discharge happened. Sarah did report it. Dave Halls, everybody testified on that. Hannah's like, this happened with Sarah. This is ridiculous. Blah, 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 blah. Sarah complained to Seth. And so this is the exchange where Seth is saying, I heard this went down. Get over it.
But that's true. That's what you should. That's the way it should be done.
Well, I'm just telling you. And then Hannah's like,
he's correct. I mean, it happens all the time. Get over it.
Well, and then Hannah pushed back saying, I am, but it doesn't look good though. And then Seth is saying, hey, what doesn't look good is, using the full load around a horse when you're the armorer. Are you going to tell production about that one?
Yeah, that's the one I never understood. Did she spook a horse with a discharge?
Yes.
And the horse went, reared its legs. And
what we do is just so Mark can do the horse.
No, because I'm trying to remember. I mean, we covered this so much stuff. I'm sorry if we're not completely memorizing every single thing. It's been a couple of years. Eric and I did a few episodes, but I remember the horse incident. This is separate from the Sarah Zachry discharge.
Correct.
Okay.
But they kind of rolled them together because he used that to talk about the other. Anyway, and I'm sorry, a lot of people don't know about these texts, and they did not allow these texts to be read in the courtroom.
We read them on air, remember?
But I can't remember. I have so many of them. It's been a long time. Now,
I know.
I want to address this too. Roosevelt Media News. Good to see you. Exactly.
I remember this
sued
guy.
by previous partners for stealing guns and customers. Since you know this, Roosevelt Media News, do you know what happened to that lawsuit from his previous partners? It was dismissed. They withdrew it.
Okay.
So does that mean that it didn't happen? I don't know.
Whoa. Wasn't there a settlement of some sort?
They withdrew. There was nothing. The plaintiffs withdrew the suit. I have a copy of it. I don't have it on hand right now, but I do have a copy of that.
They brought a suit and withdrew the suit.
Correct.
For what reason?
I don't know.
Okay.
And so that's my problem. How am I to interpret that? You make an accusation of me, Mark.
Oh, me? I didn't say anything to you.
No, I'm hypothetical. Let's say you make an accusation about me and you make claims about me, right? And then you tell the whole world that I do this particular thing.
Right on.
And then later on, you withdraw that suit. Now, what is the world supposed to do? Do you say, okay, he withdrew the suit, so it's a non-issue because the suit's gone? Or do you say, oh, it must have really happened, but he withdrew the suit because he withdrew it? I don't know. I don't know how people want to address it, but it's important.
Well, okay. The story was, and I don't know if this is true, of course, like you're saying, and this happens all the time. He opened up a prop house and he took some customers with him, and they were customers from The Walking Dead.
Right.
As I recall.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't remember which one. But yeah.
Right. And they got pissed off that he took customers to start his own prop house. I don't know how that's resolved, how that's settled, but it happens all the time with all kinds of businesses, not just prop house businesses. It happens when people leave businesses to start their own business, right?
Right. But they withdrew it without prejudice, but they withdrew it. So that means somewhere in the back, somehow it got settled, but I can't do anything.
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say that, a lot of people are laying these things out like he's sketch, he's horrible and stuff. It's like, he might be, I don't know, but I have to go with what I have on hand. His performance, in my opinion, was solid. I thought so too. I thought that Jason Bowles did nothing. Jason Bowles in the cross kept lining things up like he was going to drop a bomb. Like you could just feel him. He's building, and then he changed the subject. And I'm like,
oh, that I don't know. That's
because I didn't feel like it went anywhere. He was like, oh, you were storing this here. Do you see that? Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay. He was just showing that there was a messy kind of storage thing,
which it absolutely was.
Right. Okay. Well, that's all he wanted to do. He's just showing the environment that this stuff came from.
I guess, but here's the one thing that.
What are you looking for? Like a smoking gun or something?
No, what I'm looking for is
See,
as
get it? It
messy.
says smoking gun. You didn't even get
Yeah,
that. No, come on, Hunley. Let's go.
All right, here you go. Everybody, we're talking about a facility. The one thing he did not show is a single instance of dummies and live ammo commingled in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
He showed sloppy shelves, but they were all blanks. He showed
Again,
sloppy shelves,
he's not
dummies.
He's not putting Seth Kenny on trial.
But yes, he is.
He's not. He's merely muddying the waters, showing that the whole case is muddy.
But he literally is. He literally has been the entire time. And he even had a lawsuit. Even had the lawsuit. Remember? They sued Seth Kenny. Hannah and Jason sued Seth Kenny.
Right.
So what happened to that lawsuit?
I don't know. That's a separate thing, right?
Oh, here it is. Stipulation of dismissal pursuant to Rule 1041. Hereby stipulates that the plaintiff dismisses her lawsuit against defendants with prejudice.
Okay.
Look, if this guy is responsible for this, if this happened because of him,
wait.
Why?
You're saying, what is this happening? What are you referring to?
The implication is that the live rounds came from Seth, that they got to the set because of Seth.
Well,
everything is tied.
There's also her father's live rounds, and there's also Billy Ray was implied. And
Billy Ray, I think he's off the hook because he only did the.
I'm not saying he's on the hook or off the hook, but I'm saying there's other names other than Seth Kenny. There's Thell's live rounds. There's Billy Ray's live rounds. There's Swanson was brought in as a name for live rounds or not. I forget if that was live.
No, Swanson made all of the dummy rounds and possibly some of the live round, but he's just a guy who makes.
No.
I'm just cop from way back in there.
What I'm saying is it's not just a complete focus on Seth Kenny.
Well, actually, I would argue it is that Seth Kenny has been painted. He brings him up every time. It's always been Seth Kenny on it, but it's very significant because they did in fact sue him for this. They sued him directly.
Well, everybody's suing everybody, so that's a problem with the entire case is everyone's suing everybody. But the private eye. Explaining the problems with the police and Bowles' attack on the police has nothing to do with Seth Kenny, Eric.
Well, actually, it is because he said you didn't collect information from Seth Kenny. They could have talked to Seth Kenny. Why didn't they do Seth Kenny? So I'm just trying to finish this part out because I think it's a significant point.
Okay, go ahead.
They literally sued Seth Kenny for the incident. That he was the cause. The same people dismissed this suit with prejudice. That's significant, in my opinion.
What does that mean?
Hannah specifically sued. Yes, I'm slow on the uptake.
What is going on?
I guess you can't read.
Lawyers like to confuse the jury. Eric is the perfect juror.
No.
What would you do if you were the foreman in the jury right now? What would you do?
Keep listening. Because it's it is muddied, but a lot of it is what are the basic questions. So so anyway, so we can move on to the PI, by the way, because
no. I'm just saying you don't have to move on to the PI. I'm just saying I just happened to watch that one today, so it's kind of in my mind that he wasn't focusing on Seth Kenny. He was focusing on all these other things, like I mentioned to you about Alec Baldwin running around and her being in custody. I mean, that had nothing to do with Seth Kenny. I mean, the fact that somebody was moving the prop truck around, somebody was,
the cart, yes,
the cart,
and he did a good job and crossed with Benavides on that on day 1 and 2, and absolutely, absolutely.
Again, I think Bowles is trying to spread around the mud.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, all he needs is one. He needs one juror to say, "I'm not buying this," and his job is finished.
Yes, if he can hang it, he can hang it, and
one juror.
It looked like he might.
Okay,
but I don't know if he will or if he will not. But this is where it's hard too because we know too much. quite literally, we know too much to make a legitimate statement. Keep in mind that the jury keeps getting excused. They have to argue. It's like,
Yeah.
and the jury probably is not exposed to a whole lot of it.
Well, they were exposed to 2.5 years of it in real life.
Yeah, but how many people sit there and
in Santa Fe, they're not coming from Mars. They may be exposed to it more than anyone in LA or New York.
Potentially, but I have a feeling that
okay.
It's difficult, and they're only allowed to see this, and I've already seen things as like, that's interesting. That's confusing. Right. Anyway, but I did want to share the lawsuit, the text, because these are all relevant. Now, going to the PI, I thought he was interesting in showing all that, but I do think that Kerry Morrissey was very effective on the.
First of all, I've never heard of this guy. Did you know this guy previously?
No, he's just hired in. That PI.
Well, wait, he just got hired now?
Well, he was hired by the defense. I've never seen him.
When?
I couldn't tell you that.
Yeah, no, I'm asking a rhetorical question. I don't know either, but I got the impression that he was on the case, hired by them for a long period of time. Is what my impression.
Right, but
he didn't just come on for the trial, Eric.
No. But I think I think he worked for the defense and is probably, lawyer-client privilege, and it couldn't really be revealed. So the police, I'm sure, knew, but I don't know that the public necessarily knew.
Well, I've never heard his name. That's why I'm saying.
I knew. I never have.
I've never heard his name in the entire case. So I'm just wondering, was he undercover? How was he working? Was he a secret agent? Did he come in early, late? I don't know.
If he was it's kind of like we didn't have any of the body cam footage for like a year.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of investigation going on, and all we had was whatever's revealed to us. Good Morning America, George Stephanopoulos interviews with Alec Baldwin and things like that. So I'm sure he's a behind the scenes guy, and probably has been there, much of the time.
He had a lot of gravitas, I thought. That's all.
He's got a lot.
He had a lot of gravitas. So does Seth Kenny have a lot of gravitas. The PI was very, very informative in terms of being a PI and a former Albuquerque detective.
In LA. I think he's
I thought he made he was very powerful as a witness, in my humble opinion.
He was, but I think that he lost half of his power or more on the cross because certain elements, and I hate going back to Seth again, but even he admitted that they ran out on Seth because one of his complaints early on at Bowles' complaint is Seth, what about Seth? Did anybody investigate him? And one of the questions that came up about Seth that I was going, that's weird. There was a couple things about Seth I didn't like. I didn't like that Seth trained Sarah Zachry very little, very specious.
Well, how much did you expect? Think it through. If it's two different people, think about the training. How would that work?
Well, she was acting as an armorer on a previous movie, and she had approximately a few days. And
there's no certification process. So you're kind of winging this thing in general, not between the two of them. Like, what would be the training process?
I don't know. But
okay.
Let's discuss it. Okay. I'll give you my baseline.
Go ahead.
I think that an armorer should have at least handled a gun and fired it one time in their life.
Okay, that's something.
Is that fair?
I mean, I'm asking you. I'm asking you about certifications.
There is no certification, and I get that.
I know it's a rhetorical question.
Sure.
But the alternative is the fact that Hannah Reed was with her father, Thel, on multiple films our whole life.
Yeah, but I'm talking about Sarah Zachry right
now.
No,
I'm just showing you the contrast.
Of course. And by the way, this is my criticism of Seth, is that I don't know that Sarah was really qualified to do a lot. And I'm criticizing him because I found that troubling. That was one thing I had a problem with. The second thing I had a problem with, and it wasn't Seth directly, but it was the police. And that was, why did they not fingerprint him?
Well, he claims he was federally registered.
And NJ Kathy did not settle out of court. Sorry, did not. Both Hannah and Seth did not settle out of court.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Hold on. What did that say, the second sentence? Second part of that?
Shit, scroll by. Something about insurance, I think.
Yeah, they may have some information about that If you, yeah, see the second part?
The liability insurance paid them off to go away and the settlement is sealed.
That may be true, Eric. You know that's not true? You know it's not true?
I am very certain it is not true.
Okay, I don't know anything about it.
Now, anyway, so to finish up my other problem,
Okay.
they did not fingerprint Seth Kenny, and I was like, oh, why didn't they? You know, if did Sarah Zachry, then Hannah Reed, etc.
Why didn't they take his phone? That's my question.
Well, I don't know. That's know, if he's a supplier of something, do you automatically take their phone? You know what probable cause do you have to
enmeshed in the case because Sarah works for him? It's not just a supplier.
Anyway, back to what I was trying to say.
I don't know.
It came out during the testimony that because he is a federal firearms license, he already is printed.
Right.
It's already in record. So it would be redundant to print him again because his fingerprints come up in the database anyway.
Okay.
The other question was, why not DNA? Okay, good question. But then it turns out that the FBI refused to test for DNA, and we're not going to test for DNA on the rounds anyway.
Why was that, by the way?
I don't know, because they did it for the Vegas shooter, supposedly.
They did it for the Vegas shooter. What is the problem? I don't understand why it's difficult. Did they give a reason?
I don't know why. Only that they said that.
Interesting.
So
very interesting.
Okay. NJ Kathy, go to erichunley.com/contact and please send me your proof and information that you are correct, that the dismissal was in fact a settlement. And I'll look forward to that, and I'll bring it up in the next show.
Thank you. I'll be looking forward to that too. I like to hear about that.
I do want that. Yes.
No, I want to talk. I know you got issues with these commenters. You're at war with these people, but let's get back to this guy Haag, who's my favorite, the gun expert, the old Lucien Haag, the old Hagmeister. I found that to be great for you and me, Eric, because this guy Haag links two of our most popular topics in one witness.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, Lucien Haag, has a son, and the two of them, I found this out a couple of weeks ago, had not only done a Lone Nutter gun special for the Discovery Channel. This is him talking about it on CBS News. This must have been for the 50th anniversary, Eric, I presume. Lucien Haag, who I believe, and this is a gift to Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin ought to discredit this guy for being a lone nutter. They claim that they could prove that 399 went through Kennedy and into John Connolly. This is the same expert witness that testified on behalf of the prosecution this week about the gun and everything else. If Alec Baldwin is smart, his lawyers will put these guys on trial and discredit them as being insane, because for the Discovery Channel, and this is on CBS, they're covering this thing on the morning news, and later on PBS, him and his son claim to have proven that 399 and Oswald did the shooting, and this is part of it. If you could run that a little bit, Eric.
Yeah.
All about what it does after it emerges from Kennedy's neck. Does it remain intact? Is it deflected? What happens to its velocity?
How fast was it going? That's important to know. What kind of damage can we expect it to do to another gunshot victim, such as Connolly, or to the car?
In these 3 feet, the space between Kennedy and Connolly, lie the answers that prove or disprove the single bullet theory.
Bravo.
There we go.
Bravo. Is that his son? Is that his son?
Yeah. This is
Haag Jr.
We'll start with the soap.
It's very similar to Neutrogena, that clear amber soap that you can see through.
I like Neutrogena. Actually, it's a good soap.
And the same
Go on.
Anyway, well, I don't want to keep doing that. But
No. That was more than enough. These two nuts trying to prove that 399, the magic bullet, is the one. What I'm trying to say is this guy is a deep state operative. Anyone who has the power to put this on the Discovery Channel, CBS, and PBS is a deep state tool and a lone nut operative. I don't know how he got involved in this Baldwin trial, but I'm telling you here, you're going to hear this here that you're not going to hear at any other channel. This guy Haag, for whatever purpose, is a deep state operative who has now been thrown into this trial, and it links Eric and I's two most common and powerful episodes together, which are the Kennedy episodes and the Baldwin episodes. And that's why I wanted to bring it up. And it's a gift to Alec Baldwin. It really is, Alec.
It's a second link because we also had Alec Baldwin at COPPA.
Oh, right. But I'm saying, but that goes to this because
I know.
Alec Baldwin is an expert as
on JFK.
Unquote, on JFK. If he would just look at this Discovery and CBS footage, he can discredit the witness against him in the upcoming July trial, Eric. This is a gift to us. And I know we've maligned him on many occasions, but this is a gift to you, Alec. Take this guy and destroy him on the witness stand as a lone nutter, It would help your case.
I would think so. I don't think they did, but because he's already been, I think he's already come and gone. And I didn't.
No, but I'm saying Alec's case in July.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Alec case is what I'm talking about. Alec's case in July. If they bring this gun guy back, which they're going to do because they're paying him hundreds of thousands of dollars to do this, Alec should just point to these Discovery videos and CBS News and paint him as a lone nut deep state operative, which is what he really is. How the deep state got involved in this case is now making me very interested in the fact that this guy testified, because that means to me the fingerprints of intelligence are now involved in this case, which is where we started with this cockamamie thing, with her being linked to the Daily Mail as an anti-Soviet journalist making sex slaves in the basement documentaries for the BBC. This goes all the way back to her link to her father, who's played by Sean Connery in The Hunt for Red October, also involving Alec Baldwin. This thing's now gone full circle, Hunley.
Yep.
Oh, it's now gone full circle with that guy's testimony. When I saw him on the stand, I knew who he was because I knew about that documentary. I almost fell off the couch, bro.
Okay. Well, your friend Runkle's here.
Oh, Runkle the Bailey. Okay.
He's saying if Baldwin's lawyers utter the words deep state in the trial, Baldwin should shop for a toothbrush.
I'm not sure what that means. Is that some Canadian outback phrase or something?
No, I think he's.
What does shop for a toothbrush mean?
Shop for a toothbrush means that you're going to be locked up. That use a deep state in the trial.
Oh, like no one's ever used deep state in the trial before?
I don't think it would be a good defense. I'm going to lean that it might not go over as well, but proving bad forensics or something like that, sure.
Yeah. No, I don't know about bad forensics, but I think you can thoroughly discredit this witness by painting him as a lone nutter, by showing that. Yeah, I mean, because his expertise is guns. That documentary completely dismantles his expertise. I know this is hard to follow, Runkle, because you're up from Canada and don't know the assassination folklore like we do. But that video that he made for Discovery Channel thoroughly discredits him as a gun expert. Take that home and smoke that.
I think what he's saying is don't use the words deep state.
Oh, who gives
a deep state plan.
Who gives a shit about the words deep state? Go fuck yourself. We're just trying to make a point about this guy being a maniac, lone nutter, other than deep state. I happen to believe he's a deep state operative, but I know that's too complicated for a lot of people to understand who don't follow our show.
Okay. I'm not getting in the middle of that one.
I think our audience knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, yes. Wow, we haven't covered this case for a while. It's like we have a bunch of pent up energy on this stupid case.
No, I'm not. It's not pent up energy. I mean, we've been waiting for this for a couple of years for this trial to come to fruition. We're gonna have to go through this again in July with the Alec Baldwin version, which this is like the spring. This is like spring training for the Major League game, which is coming out in July when they're playing with a full team. You know what I mean? This is like the minor league spring training version of the big trial that's coming in July, which is kind of what I've been saying all along. I mean, look, if she took the plea deal, there would have been no trial. Now she didn't take the plea deal, so there's a trial. You know, whatever happens to her, happens to her. The Alec Baldwin thing is much more interesting to me in general because of all the reasons we mentioned.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she didn't. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
The reason why she didn't take the plea deal, well, I'm not completely certain. And I don't know for sure. If the rounds came from Thel, she could have been like, I don't want to get my dad hemmed up.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's a good question. It's a good question. I don't know. Maybe she thought she could win the case straight up.
Yeah, it could be. And I do agree that Baldwin will probably do better than Hannah, because Baldwin's legal team has shown themselves to be
Yeah.
devastating.
Absolutely.
Even in the preliminary, getting charges dropped, getting things moved, getting prosecutors thrown off. I think
Well,
that
you could come off as too L.A. or too New York down there too. You know.
well, yeah, but I'm just talking about even behind the scenes. Look how much damage he did to
Oh,
the
yeah.
DA in New Mexico,
Oh, yeah.
his legal team, without even a trial. Like
Yeah.
I said, they got the.
Well, this is also spring training for her, for Morrissey.
This is true.
Right, that she's going to have to step up her game, and this is kind of spring training for her with the armorer. You know, this is low hanging fruit compared to Baldwin.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
But then that's what a lot of people who are very behind Hannah feel is that yes, she's the easy target.
Yeah,
so,
I feel that. I feel it's low hanging fruit.
And I guess that's where it gets confusing. Is it just low hanging fruit, or is there a legitimate responsibility and failure on her part, or is it both? Because two things can be true.
It could be both, but I just get the. Well, we'll see what happens. I'll hold back on that. We'll see what happens. I just love the Haag story. That was my favorite part because it links the two things together.
Oh, of course.
I had just found that to be a gift from God.
Okay, so now who else do we have in our mix? Oh, I want to talk to you about this because you've dealt with a lot of addicts and things like that and whatever. This is the charge that I have continued to say I do not feel should have come in about the evidence tampering because of the substance that was found in the hotel room.
Yeah, what is the story? Do you know more about? I don't know anything about this.
Well played, Dustin. It's low-hanging rust.
That's funny. Way to go, Russell.
Anyway.
Well, remember, Russ never sleeps.
This is Rebecca Smith, who is.
Yeah, what was the deal with this? I kind of skipped over this. Go ahead.
Okay, she is somebody who works in craft services on the set who also stayed in the hotel and who apparently went in and out of Hannah's room for whatever. Oh, because she was going to console her. There's people staying with Hannah that evening. She went in the room. Supposedly, Hannah said, "Here, take this," and gave her a baggie. That was a clear baggie with a smaller green baggie inside that had a white powdery substance.
Okay, so I skipped her testimony because it was craft services, but she testified that once you get down to craft services, I'm out. If that's who you got to go down, because that's the weakest, lowest link on the entire chain of a film is craft services in terms of stature. But you're saying that she testified that she went into Hannah's room and Hannah gave her cocaine in a bag to hold for her.
Correct. And I'm trying to be very specific because it is technically white powder in a plastic bag because nobody's ever tested it.
Coke or meth. Coke or meth.
Oh, I know. Well, Coke or meth, yes. And by the way, that was part of Bull's defense, which is like,
what was his defense?
He said, "Didn't you say it could have been meth?"
Oh, that's weird. But okay, just to be more specific, what happened to the Coke? What happened to the Coke?
Okay, so Bowles, in a very long cross-examination, got her to admit that she took it in her hand and looked down and saw it and held it by her side
and
walked by a series of people who were wearing uniforms, but she can't confirm if they're police or not, and dropped it inside of a trash can in the hallway as she was leaving the building. And he stretched this cross out. And he's like, "So you didn't know? Why didn't you hand it to a cop? Why didn't you hand it here? How do you know?"
How about keeping it and using it yourself? How about that idea?
Right. He said,
giving it back to her later.
How did you know it was Coke? She's a recovering addict.
Oh my Lord, get out of here.
So, but the point is, I think he was dragging it out because he was like, "Could it have been creatine? Could it have been this? Could it have been crystal meth?"
If it's not tested legally, he's right.
But why did he dwell on it? He should have just said, "Can you say conclusively it's Coke?" No, move on. But
again, your fight is with it. Your fight with Bowles and his style thing. You got to take this up with Bowles, Hunley.
I'm just stating what
you got to take it up with Bowles. He's got his own style. He's got his own style, bro.
Dude, if I was on a jury, I would be questioning. It's like, really? Am I going to get confused about a pattern? Why are you dragging this out? Like I said, all you'd have to say is, can you prove it's that? Move on. I don't know why he was going on and on and on.
That I don't know. I mean, because it could be that they wanted to charge her with it and they threatened her in the press with this. He really wants to dismantle this thing. My question is, this is a recovering addict with cocaine all of a sudden in her hand from Hannah giving her cocaine. That's a pretty bold statement.
It is. Now, I don't think it's provable or anything else. And
maybe they paid her, like in the Lizzie Borden case. Maybe somebody paid her to say that.
That could be. I don't know.
Yeah.
But either way, that was her whole testimony. She was the one it was handed to. And again,
there's a lot of addicts who work in the film industry, the set business, with PAs, and there's people using, there's people in recovery. There's a lot of drugs on set. There's a lot of people getting high on set. There's a lot of people partying after the day. There's a lot of stuff going on. Traditionally.
I agree. Or my question to you is this before they start working on set or after they work on set? Yeah,
sometimes it's both. I mean, people doing blow. I mean, dude, it's just a ton of drugs and alcohol. Not so much alcohol because it's hard to ingest, but there's a lot of people on pills. There's a lot of people on Xanax. There's a lot of people on coke. It's just across the board. I mean, the reason she's a recovering addict is because she did drugs while running craft services.
Mm-hmm.
So she was making sandwiches high as a kite, but it doesn't involve guns, so it may not be relevant.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Especially they're on these types of shoots. There's very long hours, very short turnaround time, as we heard from what's the guy, Looper, and his crew about the hotels and the drive time and sleeping in the cars. And these people are young. They start doing amphetamine-based substances to survive. To do the job, Eric. Not so much even a party.
Yeah, no, I agree. Anyway, let me see. I'm going to get into some chats and see what's coming in here. We've got super chats. We definitely want to leave these people out.
Okay.
Let me see if we're demonetized yet too, because
these are usually demonetized. I said the F word.
I said it multiple times in text, and we're not yet. Shh.
Oh, don't say anything. Shh. By the way, it's Super Duper Tuesday, by the way. So, keep that in mind. It's a big election day. So,
Yeah. So the only question is going to be, will it be by 40% or, 30%?
I just like that none of the above keeps defeating the late Joe Biden. I find that to be an interesting story.
I don't know. Pamela Clifton says, "Happy Tuesday, guys."
Thank you.
Good to see you. Kenneth Noonan with a $10 super sticker. Thank you very much. Robert Jenkins, love and respect from Niagara Falls, New York. My mother, Kathy, is now a huge fan.
And the Stooges, if you watch the Three Stooges when they do the episode on Niagara Falls, which I know Jenkins is privy to because it's a legendary Three Stooges episode. I'll leave it at that. People know what I'm talking about.
Jet Wilson, where were pictures made of Seth's mess, home, office, or spinner van? I don't know. And I don't know.
Where were they made? Where were the pics made?
I'm not sure.
I don't remember. Asking, are there pics of his?
There may be. I don't know if those get admitted.
Isn't that from the warrant from a month later?
Yeah, that's PDQ. And it was from the warrant
that's what I thought.
In November, yes. I don't understand the question. I don't know if you're saying, why didn't they get them? Well, it wouldn't necessarily be relevant.
Why were pics made? Maybe it's why.
I don't know.
You know what? We need the Google translating device, the cone that comes down over us where we translate the different things that are written crazily.
And LB or IB, love you guys anyway, other than my jury problems, apparently, but thank you.
IB coming in.
I know. I deeply appreciate Cash. Cash is always fun. While we are discussing alternative things, because somebody mentioned that Runkle should come down and see us in Youngstown.
Runkle in Canada?
Yeah, he's in Canada. I don't know where in Canada. So, anyway,
are they allowed to have guns up there?
Barely.
I thought it was just shotguns or something.
No, I think they're far more stringent.
What if a guy with a shotgun shoots an indigenous person in Canada? What's the penalty for that?
I would have to consult.
It would have to be the death penalty. It would have to be the death penalty.
Well, fortunately, they don't have that because they're letting a serial killer get out after 20 years because their maximum, or 25 years. Apparently, their maximum penalty is like 20 or 25 years.
No matter what you do?
I guess so.
That's funny.
So they have a serial killer that's about to get out pretty soon.
Okay, Runkle, get on that case. Let's go, Runkle. Let's find out more about this guy.
Yeah,
that interests me. That's a good one.
Yeah, good thing we're not Canada's Untold Stories.
Anyway. You know what? They need that up there. Remember those bodies they said they found of indigenous underneath a school? And Viva said they never even found the bodies. It was like a big.
Oh, Runkle says he's not. Okay.
He's not Canadian, or he's not getting out?
He's not getting out, I guess.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Okay, he's eligible to apply for parole.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay. But I thought the maximum sentence was 25 years, but I don't know. So I will stand by the lawyer in Canada.
I don't know anything about it. Yeah, I don't know anything about Canada.
But what I do want to talk about is
whatever you want to talk about today, Hunley. Let's go.
Okay. How about
what are you into today?
That in my years of public life, that I welcome this kind of examination because people have got to know whether or not their president is a crook. Well, I'm not a crook.
I'd have to say, beam me up. And I think these screw supervisors all work for the Internal Revenue Service.
Dude, that was great, Eric. Fantastic. Wow.
Somebody put that together for us.
Yeah. Wow. Marvelous. Marvelous.
And as we know, Oswald has been helping put the video together, gathering information for us in Youngstown. If people want to join us there,
I've been getting every book I can get through the JFK Book Fund donation people on Watergate, because I have to go into every single nuance. Again, this is 1974, so we're going 2 years after the break-in and getting into the events that happened in 1974 for the 50th anniversary of Watergate, which is going to be the theme. I'm sorry, go on.
Yep. And live show. There's going to be food, fellowship, have a good time. I hope you guys consider.
It's also St. Patty's Day, so there's going to be drunken Irish people there. And green beer, I presume, in that federal, right? That's a tradition as old as time.
I think so. I think
there's going to be green beer. Maybe they
turn
turn that river green for all we know. They have a river going through that town.
They have multiple like streams that are running through, and really, really beautiful park throughout the town. I was very surprised. But
now, is the Ohio primary
on
Ohio, Tuesday the 17th or the 18th?
Primary, not the 17th, the 19th.
19th, the 19th on Tuesday.
It's a primary and an election.
Oh, this is good, Hunley.
So
I like this. So we could talk about that and get some political people involved here, hopefully.
We're hoping. I mean, some feelers have come out to see.
Dude, what about Kucinich? Why don't we get this guy Kucinich to come on? He could tell us about the inside dope of why he left the RFK campaign.
It'll be great.
Oh my God! Let's try to get. He's running for Ohio, a congressional seat again. I don't know if it's his old one. It's probably been gerrymandered since then. But he was a congressman, Dennis Kucinich, who ran for president a bunch of times and recently got fired or quit. We don't really know. By Amaryllis Fox, the former CIA agent who has now taken control of the RFK campaign. And Kucinich was forced out. Some people said it was because of Israel. Some people said that it was Amaryllis Fox forcing him out, that she was his co-campaign manager. And now again, the FEC this morning has filed another brutal complaint against the Kennedy campaign, the Federal Election Commission, claiming that they're using PAC money from Gavin DeBecca, who funneled or laundered money through their PAC. We'll get into this on Friday, but there's stuff going on in that Kennedy campaign that is now two Federal Election Commission investigations into the campaign. Now, they could be dirty. I don't really know. But this DeBecca thing, you and I talked about this, Eric.
Yeah, we did.
He gave a $5 million donation to the RFK campaign, who is paying him $5 million, I don't know, about a month, but $5 million for security. Yes, totally agree. But okay, but I want to wrap up this before we go to locals with a little bit of the case that happened this afternoon before we came on. I was telling you about this, and Brenda here was kind enough to send in a super chat with the timestamp to help me out. So thank you, Brenda, very, very much. This is crazy. Let's just watch a little bit of the trial for about a minute or two. Go ahead.
Handles this, but if you could retrieve the firearms from behind you.
And I will clarify that it is not loaded. Okay? First, it's a real.
Mr. Kuski, are you able to take the cylinder out so you can show everyone also that it's unloaded?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
This cop looks pretty nervous.
No, you just wait to see how nervous he gets.
Yeah.
Revolver.
Whoa.
All right, first of all.
Whoa.
Everybody.
Whoa, what's he doing?
Because you have not demonstrated to us that they are unloaded. So before you start showing us the weapons, make sure they're unloaded, including that one that you just touched.
Keep watching.
Uh-oh. Watch out.
Here we go.
Watch
Keep
out.
watching. Keep watching.
Whoa. Whoa, watch out. Oh my God, look out. Can we show this on Locals and get into it when we go over to Locals? I want to examine this a little bit more closely on locals.com. Holy crap, Eric. What the hell's going on with this guy? Look at Bowles. Bowles is backing away.
We were talking about the stuntman on the set. This is a defense expert witness, okay? This is Hannah's defense. Please let me get through the super chats, and then we're going over to Locals.
Okay, folks. I still think she's going to walk.
F YouTube from Dog Boy. Thank you very much. Packer Jack. Hello, I posted on Locals about my new nonfiction book that just hit #1 on Amazon's new releases. Where was Skip? JFK on the cover. New stuff. Well, great. Thank you. And
who is Skip?
Where was Skip is the name.
Who is Skip? But who is Skip?
I don't know. Somehow related to JFK on the cover.
All right.
Sheila Riley gifted a membership. Thank you very much. And Dog Boy, YouTube censors us as we type suck my balls. Okay.
Dude, we haven't gotten demonetized yet. So
that's what, yeah. So I'm like, I really don't want to attempt it, folks. So it's like, I want to quit.
When these people come over to Locals, we're going to say some things that we can't say here. Because we can't say them here. So if you come over with us, you may hear some things that you're not going to hear over here. Does that make any sense?
That's right. And you know what's free to follow us over? Just unstructured.locals.com. You just sign up. You don't have to pay. You can choose to pay and support us. We always love that. But
you would get the AI. I guess we're up to episode 3, Eric, right? On the
3 is underway.
At least got its own lingo.
Well, because
when he's underway, he's referring to part 3 of the artificial intelligence. Oswald. Isn't it funny that AI has intelligence in it, and we're talking about Oswald as an intelligence operative for the miniseries? I never realized that. Yeah,
spooky.
We're up to part 3, by the way, for members who want to listen and follow along with the Oswald miniseries that Eric has AI'd brilliantly so far, but we seem to be stuck on part 3. So once
we have this conversation every so often. It's like, so, and it's like, it's coming. It's coming.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you 150,000 times.
Well, I'm not going to be around forever, Eric. At some point, I'm
giving you something to live for then. There you go. It's a service, and we'll see.
I have very little to live for at this point, but that's one of them. Maybe you're stretching it out on purpose.
Exactly.
To elongate my life. But,
that's right. I need a show partner here.
Okay.
Otherwise, what am I going to do?